Good morning, all. This is Jack from Charging the Markets, and this is a pre-market webinar for the morning of Monday, the 20th of October. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my tactical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chargingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. Okay, obviously, we had fairly alarming decline first thing, on Thursday night, and we recovered from that. But what we're still failing to do is get back over, close back over the daily middle band. We actually tested that as resistance every day last week, I think, and so far it's held. But obviously, if we are going to see a retest of the high, which I think is still potentially on the cards, then we're going to need to break back over it. Promising start this morning. We'll see how that develops. No current negative divergence. Pretty much exactly the same on NQ, except obviously on the daily chart, this has actually been breaking up and down below the daily middle band every day, but really it needs to support ES and SPX need to get over the daily middle band and hold it, and that should deliver that high retest if we get it. RTY, going back over the monthly pivot again, we don't have any I was talking about this possible head and shoulders. It looks like head and shoulders, but actually isn't one. Yesterday, we don't have a really clear overall pattern here, but this could be seen as a double top, and it's not an awful one, although it's not a great one either. YM, again, we are testing the daily middle band and need to get over it if we're going to see a retest of the high. If we do see retest of the high, I am thinking we might see retests and fail. I've done a post this morning. I'll be talking a bit about that. Have a look at that. I've been looking at the. I was looking very carefully at the patterns going back to April and going back considerably longer. This was the post looking at the April ones. Okay, DAX. We've got a falling megaphone from the high here, and that is breaking up. That is promising for a move up. ESTX broke up from this double bottom last week and has been getting pretty close to the target, which is basically at a retest of this high here. We've actually almost made that, but not far away. I'm thinking we may well make that today. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Okay, looking at the daily middle bands first. This was basically SPX testing the daily middle band as resistance for the whole of last week. If that, admittedly, we've also got a corresponding support, 50 DMA, that wasn't tested as aggressively, but really, we're going to see a break soon, one way or the other. And if we break down below the 50 DMA, there's a pretty good chance the head and shoulder patterns I was looking at last week will start breaking down and may well trigger a larger retracement. If we can get back over the daily middle band, then I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of the high in what might well then be the second high of a double top. So we shall see. Looking at the Qs, this actually closed back above the daily middle band on Monday, back below on Tuesday, back above on Wednesday, back below on Thursday, and back above on Friday. This is not acting really as this is obviously a lot of uncertainty. What I'm really waiting for is SPX to make a decision here. I don't think there's much to be read into what's happening on Qs. Dia tested the daily middle band fairly aggressively last week. We closed very slightly below it on Friday. That again needs a break above to open the high retest. In terms of the IWM chart, IWM on the daily chart, we saw an actual break below the daily middle band on Friday, which was moderately bearish. If that confirms to the downside today, then actually that increases the odds of a breakdown significantly. In terms of the pattern setup here, bear with me a moment. From the April low, this is a very high quality rising wedge. It's nice. And we've got another one which is pretty much as nice on the Qs. This is supporting the idea that we are setting up for a more serious retracement here. Doesn't necessarily mean it's topped out. These sort of wedges, you often see a break above, a bearish overthrow before they break down. We haven't seen any of those yet, so we can go higher, but the idea that we are topping up some kind of retracement here is actually extremely plausible, looking at the patterns. Dia, less good quality here. If we went up a little higher, we could get a much better trend line here, which is in the blue dotted. But it's an okay rising wedge, but I would describe it as fair quality, which is the way I described it in the post. All right, let's have a look at IWM. IWM, this is a good quality rising wedge. Not quite as high as SPX and Qs, which are really, really nice, but nonetheless very good quality. And with the move down last week, getting pretty close to a breakdown. If we do see a big reversal down here, then this will probably break, and that again would lean bearish. We could see that retracement here, but I think it's still in the balance. We will see how that goes today. In terms of the historical stats, I listed those on the post today. But basically, we've got neutral stats today and tomorrow, bearish leaning stats on Wednesday, bullish leaning stats on Thursday and Friday, mildly bullish lean for the week. But mainly, we're looking at the bigger picture here, which is government shutdown. No negotiations appear to be happening at all. And in the last 3 days, since I posted the chart on Friday, the odds of how long this ends up being have actually increased by 4 days. Nothing's happening. And there is starting to be serious talk about this continuing into Thanksgiving, which would not be great for markets. In terms of the so we shall see. We don't have any real sell signals here. If we did go back up and retest the highs, we could get some nice sell signals going on the hourly charts. Not on the daily, I don't think, but that could start off a larger retracement nicely. I'm still rooting for that retest the high. We might not get it. All right, looking at DAX. Also broke below the daily middle band. This could be making a significantly larger high here, but I'm still wondering about a retest of the high, and that falling megaphone breaking up overnight is encouraging. Nikkei, we held the daily middle band. The new government has formed. The LDP found a new partner. I'm wondering about a possible bull flag forming here, which could involve a lower low. We shall see. All right, great. Let's have a look at DX. DX, I'm getting a feel really that we're probably going to see a retest of this high. That's quite liking the way this USD is looking. It's testing the weekly pivot here, and a possible head and shoulders is forming. That could give us our move. Again, overall, I'm leaning bullish on the dollar up into 104, and then we'll see how that goes. CB, possible double top setting up here. Doesn't necessarily mean they have to play out, but they're nice looking setups here, and this is what I was looking for, a retest of these highs. ZN hasn't quite retested the high, but pretty close, and probably close enough. I'm thinking we may well see a breakdown in bonds here, and there's a fair amount of support I was going through on that for that happening on the bigger picture charts. All right, let's have a look at CL. I rolled all these into December on Saturday. 60-minute buy signal fixed here on the CL, and we've got a nice looking falling wedge, which is leaning bullish. HO, we've got a nice looking falling wedge, which is leaning bullish. RBOB, 60-minute buy signal fixed, and we've got a nice looking falling wedge, which is leaning bullish. I'm leaning towards seeing a rally of some kind here, but likely lower, some lower afterwards. NG, now we've got a falling wedge here, which has broken up pretty hard. We've got a seasonally strong period here, and I'm kind of thinking we might see a rise of a buck. We will see how that goes. Obviously, the last efforts to see a decent rally on NG have been shut down. We'll see how this one does. There's no obvious reversal pattern here. Looking at GC, very strong uptrend. We've gone up basically since we broke up from this consolidation here. We've gone up 1,000. This has gone up a long way, and it's not necessarily done yet. This is a trending move. We'll have to see where it lands. I would not be short this instrument. SI. Possible topping action, maybe. Palladium, possible topping action. Platinum, possible topping action. 60-minute buy signal fixed. Though I wouldn't be surprised to see any of these go significantly higher without any meaningful retracement. HG, I'm thinking this may well be topping out for a move back to a retest of this low here in the 4.38 area. We'll see how that goes. No current divergence. KC. Still leaning towards seeing a high retest of this high here in the 44 area. 60-minute sell signal fixed and not really delivered anything so far. SB could have a possible bottoming action. Weak 60-minute buy signal fixed, which hasn't really delivered a lot. CC looks like a bear flag forming. CT break up over this declining resistance, not necessarily significant. Not seeing anything strongly directional either way as yet. Lumber, we got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, and this looks like a flag. Do we have a decent looking resistance trend line here? No. Not yet. We need to go higher to develop one. All right, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go higher. It just means we have got a decent resistance trend line to work around. ZW, possible topping action here. Little IHS has broken up with the target in the 511 3/4 area. Not seeing anything compelling saying that isn't going to make target. ZW, we have broken up from what looks like a flag, and I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of this high here in the 431 area. Looking at soy, we've got a weak 6-minute sell signal fixed, and overall, I think this is a bear flag forming, but I'm thinking this could go higher short term, but we may well be topping out short term. ZL, this looks like a bear flag forming. Live cattle, we've got a 60-minute sell signal was forming, and it suddenly declined and went to the possible near miss target. That may be all that we get. There is a potential topping pattern here, but I'm not taking it particularly seriously at this stage. HE, very nice looking falling wedge here. This is likely to break up into at least a decent rally, and we've got a possible weak 6-minute buy signal brewing. All right, let's have a look at questions. All right, no questions. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Have a look at the post I did this morning. I'm going to be doing a lot of posts this week, I think. There's going to be the one on oil I'm going to finish off and post today. But have a look at the one I did this morning. I'm going to be following that up with a post looking at the longer-term patterns this week. So watch out for that as well. All right, everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning.